So it's fall time, and of course I'm planning my garden for next spring. I didn't really have the great garden that I wanted this year because somebody decided to have a baby. And yeah, I just kind of got a little bit sidetracked with taking care of him, and let me let this ambulance go by. But anyway, I am very, very determined next year to have a great, wonderful garden. I've been researching on the Back to Eden method, and I'm going to give that a try in a large section of my garden. So let's take a look. So I've put down cardboard, and I have some garden soil, which has like some peat moss in it. It has a little bit of sand. It has compost in it. And then I get wood chips from Free Chip Drop, and I usually have a pile of it over there, and that's what's going in between the rows, and then eventually I'm going to put some on top of these rows. I have the rows going downhill because that's the way the water is going to be flowing, and the plants I'm going to be putting down at the end are going to be the ones that require more water, like watermelon and some of the squashes, whereas up here I'm going to be doing things that aren't they'll still need water, but not as thirsty as some of the ones that I'm going to be planting down below. I'm going through and I'm just putting a really, really thick layer of the wood chips in between some other garden beds that I have. I usually have my tomatoes over here, and I have my valerian grows up here, and down here I'm going to be doing my brassicas, some, let's say, broccoli or cauliflower or something that needs a little bit more room to spread. I'm going to be planting that stuff down here, and as you can see, I'm just starting that section. I did not do a whole lot of stuff down here because of baby. I'm using him for an excuse, but I did have some basil. It's gone to seed, and I had garlic in this one. I had onions over there, but I've planted some beets in this one here, and I believe I have some more beets. So I have 2 containers of beets, a volunteer valerian plant. I have my sage. I plant a little bit of cress. I don't know how well it's going to do. I had some yarrow that came back, and I have harvest. I've taken the seeds and kind of shaken them off into an area up in there so I can have some yarrow growing there. And over here I have just some different varieties of lettuces that are growing. As you can see, they're popping up nicely. Over here, it might just take a little bit more time for it to go. And I had some fennel and dill over here that have since kind of took its turn for the fall. And then over here I had bee balm, and so I'm going to trim that up a little bit, but I'll just go let all that go to seed. I have a little rosemary, thyme, and oregano over here. So once I get all of my root vegetables out of here that I grow, I'm going to actually fill the containers back up with some soil. It kind of breaks down over time. I mean, all these used to be pretty, like this here was all the way to the top, and just over the last couple years, you know, the dirt settles and you take out things, and you lose some of the soil. So it's important to replace your soil, especially when you're doing containers like this every year, to help keep the soil rich and keeping the good bacteria and stuff in there. We have a tree that has lots of leaves that come off, and we put them in the containers, and I'll put them around my flowers and fruit trees and stuff in the front yard to help to give it some nutrients and everything throughout the winter months. So if you have a garden, now is the time to help kind of put your garden to bed, put out some of those cooler weather crops, and it's never too early to prepare for your spring garden. And that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully all of the cardboard will be broken down, the wood chips will be breaking down, and I'll have some nice rich soil to plant my spring veggies in next year.